Hi, everybody, and welcome to ToRAISE Questions, the Doula podcast. Hi, Thérèse.
Hi, Sarah. How are you? And how is everyone else?
I am good, but cold.
Yeah.
Everyone else, we were just talking about, I said filming. We're recording in Virginia, and it's like 30 degrees one day and 50 degrees the next day and 20 degrees and snowing and all over the place. And I just keep thinking about our Minneapolis doulas who were like, hello, it's 30 below zero.
And then I think about our San Diego, and they're in that nice Southern California.
I do a lot of work in Ann Arbor, and they missed some school last week or the week before because it was too cold to go to school. So anyway, I'm well, but I'm cold. So we're going to do a tip to start. Oh, and I'm here with Thérèse Hakoun. I always forget this. I listen to other podcasts and they always say who everybody is, what the podcast is about. This is the Doula podcast, sponsored by ToLabor, which is a doula training and certification organization. And this is Thérèse Hakoun. She's the executive director and doula mentor and doula extraordinaire. I am Sarah Allen Short. I work with ToLabor and I'm a doula. And what else?
The tip of the day.
The tip of the day is we're going to talk about doula bags today. So my tip of the day is about doula bags. If you are someone who likes to be somewhat organized, or even if you don't, so my doula bag, I lose stuff in there. I drop stuff. I have a lot of little things. We're going to talk today about what's in our doula bags, but so my very small tip of the day is to buy either pencil cases or use Ziploc bags to group like items. Yeah. So I have a Ziploc bag full of like hair ties and hair headbands. Sorry, my brain's not working today. And I have a Ziploc bag of mints, and I have, sour food items, and a Ziploc bag of snacks for me. And it used to be that I just had everything in a big bag, just loose. And so that's my tip. Ziploc bags or those clear plastic pencil cases are a good way to organize like items so that you can find stuff.
Good.
That's my tip. Before we move into our topic of the day, I want to say, please check out our website, which is tolabor.com. We have a list of all of our upcoming workshops.
Which is...
we're working on the 2015 schedule right now.
Especially our summer into fall, winter.
We're posting a lot of times on the Facebook page. We'll ask, hey, we need a sponsor or a contact for this area. If your city is not on that list and you want to have a ToLabor workshop, email tolaborworkshops@gmail.com, and Nicole, our workshop coordinator, will contact you to see if it's feasible, possible, probable for us to have a training in your community. But we would love to see if we can get more workshops in other communities. Yeah. So, the way we decide where we're doing workshops is there's a certain number of places we've been going to for years and years, and we always go. There's a certain number of places that have a lot of people who have a demand for our workshops, and so we go there. And there's a certain number of places where someone calls us and says, I really, really, really want you to come to my town, and I can guarantee a certain number of people, or I'll help you find the people. And we do a workshop. So there's lots of different ways to have a workshop. And if there's one, close enough to you that you want to, go for it by all means. But if you want to start one, start one.
Yes.
And we offer discounts if you've been previously trained.
Right. And we offer student discounts for those who are enrolled in college or a vocational profession. And we offer super early bird discounts, and
if you sign up early
rates as well. If a whole group of you are planning to take the workshop,
we've had before
together.
Groups of nurses take it, and groups of previously trained doulas,
and yoga instructors, and massage therapists, and social workers, and just a group of women who all feel like this is their time to start doing this work together. So,
and I will say, I know I'm biased because I am on the ToLabor payroll, but it is an amazing, life-changing weekend. And you can read testimonials on our website. You can take my word for it or not. You can talk to anybody. It's really different. It's just different from any of the other kind of professional trainings, doula or otherwise, that you will do, because yes, you are going to learn what positions a laboring woman and how to support a laboring woman and breathing techniques and all that stuff. And even if you already know it, you're going to learn new things about the practical how to be a doula. But so much more than that. It's a workshop. Thérèse often says, she's heard people say it's a workshop about life. You're going to have different interactions.
with people in general because of this workshop. I have a friend who just texted me. She's going back to grad school, and she said, "You're my grad school doula." Because what I'm telling her, whenever she's like, "I can't do this, it's too hard," everything I'm telling her is the same stuff you tell someone who's in labor. And it feels like a workshop, a life workshop. So anyway, I can't say enough good about it. And it changed my life to go.
Add into that, because I think I think what makes the workshop unique and a real experience is that it is really about how to be with yourself and how to be with your family members and how to be with your coworkers. And, it isn't just about being a birth doula or a doula, even a college, post-grad college, grad student doula.
Right.
It's just personal relationships with yourself.
Yeah.
And I think also what we draw and what I really feel is an important part of why I really want people to be a part of us and be part of this work is we really come from that social justice perspective and that civil rights perspective, that this is, how to learn how to speak and how to listen and how to question. And I don't think there's enough training in any part of our lives that gives us that opportunity to really question and the tools on how to do it in a way that isn't combative. So I am biased, but for very good reasons. I think it's a powerful experience for me each time I'm facilitating the workshop as well.
Well, and actually, I feel like this is going to sound really weird, but you remember the Hair Club for Men commercials where it's like, I'm not only the president, I'm also a client.
Right.
I mean, you took over this organization because it had been meaningful to you and had transformed your life. And so you actually assumed this used to be called Alice, ALACE, and you took it over, and because and you changed it, but I sort of feel like you practice what you preach. I mean, this is your organization that you have really developed and fostered. Anyway,
well, can I listen to us?
Go ahead.
This is important, though. I think one of the things that is important about the workshop as well, and I hope I can articulate this, you do really learn how to become a doula while you're there that weekend, because everything we talk about by Sunday, by the end of the workshop, you actually have been doing with each other in supporting one another, strangers coming together who are your clients potentially, and you're what you learn that weekend, you see actually manifesting during the workshop.
Yep.
And I can't explain it better than that. So if you're interested in really also knowing, like when you brought up the transition, our roots, there is a place on our website that says our roots, that you can read about how we came to be and what the real intention of who we are.
Did you have a business doula for, like we were talking about grad school doula, and did you have people who doulaed you through the process of taking over this business?
Yeah, they really did.
Yeah. Okay, so check out our Facebook page. We have an awesome social media person now named Grace who's posting lots of stuff that's useful for your clients. Check out our website. Check out our workshops. Leave us a review on iTunes. Those are really helpful if you're enjoying this podcast. We get a lot of emails saying how much you love the podcast. So also tell the Apple Store.
Yeah, tell them that, because it just helps our visibility.
Yeah.
And one other thing, Sarah, you want to bring up about we're looking for sponsors for this podcast.
So email ToRAISEQuestions@gmail.com if you're interested in sponsoring. If you have a business or an idea or a product or a service that would appeal to birth professionals and holistic medical practitioners that listen to this podcast, email us and let us know. And we'll talk to you about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. Okay. Thanks.
ToRAISE.
I'm very excited. We have our first sponsorship. We've been asking for sponsorships to defray the costs of production for the podcast, because right now ToLabor is paying for all the production and hosting costs. And I wish it was free, but it's not. So we're very excited. Our first sponsorship is PBI. PBI is also known as Placenta Benefits. And it's an organization, their mission is to educate women, as well as professional communities, doctors, midwives, nurses, about the benefits of placenta ingestion for postpartum recovery. That's their mission. And as you know, our listeners, doulas, midwives, birth professionals, childbirth educators, they're often on the front lines. They're going to be the ones mentioning to clients, maybe you should think about placenta encapsulation after you have your baby. And actually, regardless of our sponsor, we should do an episode on placenta.
Okay.
So they have some pretty exciting stuff going on, and we get to tell you about it today.
Yeah. So the first thing is they're hosting their first ever conference in celebration of the placenta. And it's
love that.
I know. There is a lot of information about the beauty and the benefits of placentas that the Eunice Shriver Foundation is now starting to do research on, and it's I think we're going to learn a lot more of the benefits in science.
So a whole conference celebrating the beauty of the placenta.
Las Vegas, March 14th. It's called Placenta Con. If you are in the area or can get to Las Vegas, you should contact them at placentabenefits.info and check out what that's all about.
Cool. I think, I love placentas. Yeah. Most doulas love placentas, so I think a Placenta Con is a cool idea. They've also just launched the all-new PBIU, which is U like university, the Placenta Benefits, PBIU. It's a postnatal education and training site, and the website is placentacourse.com. This is where you will go if you are a doula, childbirth educator, other birth professional who wants to add placenta encapsulation to your repertoire. Yeah. Right. So they have the latest research on that website. They have learning modules that will get you excited about the placenta if you are not already excited about the placenta, which you would be if you know anything about it. You probably are. They have videos and pictures and presentations, and they do a good job teaching students. So placentacourse.com is the PBIU website, and placentabenefits.info is the PBI website.
Right.
So send your clients to placentabenefits.info and send yourself to placentacourse.com.
Right. And consider, if nothing else, just getting all the information you need so that you can be a good resource, whether you're an actual placenta encapsulator yourself.
Yep.
So thanks.
Thank you. So I think it's kind of funny. We were talking about the workshops and how you learn practical stuff, but the most important stuff you learn is the non-practical stuff. Because what we're about to talk about is very practical. But we had this whole conversation before doing this episode. This is a question we get all the time. We see, what's in your doula bag? What do you take? And so I feel like we should talk about it. But we also both agree that it doesn't really matter very much.
Right, but we'll get
what's
to
in your
that.
doula bag. But let's start with what's in your doula bag, and then we'll move on to why it doesn't matter what's in your doula bag.
First, let's talk about the bag itself, okay?
Okay.
Because some people will say, well, what should I use? What kind of bag should I, you talk about a doula bag. Should I have a bag? Should I have a suitcase? What should I have? And that's individual. I mean, some people have a backpack that they keep all their tools in. Some people have a big tote bag. We happen to sell big tote bags that at most of the workshops and online, that some people, it's got our logo on it. So people just use that because that also is a way of them supporting.
And identifying as a doula.
Right. Some people have little roller suitcases, overnight bag, where they keep all their stuff, and they just find that really easy to pick up, grab, roll into the hospital, into the birth site
in order to have everything with them and have their hands a little bit more free. So there's not a right or wrong. Just quickly, Sarah, what did you use for a birth?
I just used a huge Old Navy hobo slouch purse. I mean, it was big, probably about the size of a tote bag, but it had like a pretty floral design on the outside. I don't like to bring a ton of stuff. And when I found it spilling over into 2 bags, I culled. But yeah, you're right. It's individual. Yeah. Everybody's going to have their own.
So just know that there isn't a specific birth bag you have to buy. Some people have found like buying a utility bag where there's lots of pockets, individual pockets in it, kind of like you would find at a hardware store for tools, can be a good place. I know somebody who makes utility bags and makes like utility rolls where you can put in, they have little pockets where you can keep specific things in it and keep it all organized that way. So you can look at the different kinds of bags that help you.
I feel like I also need to give the disclaimer that I'm sure we don't have a list in front of us.
No.
We're not sitting here reading you, here's what has to be in your doula bag. We'll talk about stuff we've heard, stuff we use, stuff we like. I'm sure there will be other things. So please don't email us and say, well, you forgot this or you forgot that. Just like, we would love actually to hear what else we did forget, on our Facebook page or in an email, but we're not trying to be comprehensive. It's just a discussion.
Right.
Right. Okay. So what's in your doula bag, Therese?
Well, I think everybody's doula bag should have, whether it's a tiny bag or a big bag, should have a carrier oil in it.
Explain what you mean by that.
An unscented massage oil.
Okay.
And specifically an unscented one. So
almond oil.
Almond oil, though some people have brought up to me, what about people who have nut allergies? And I say, okay, well, be aware of your clients. And if almond is part of their nut allergy, obviously you don't want that. But that's not a very common nut allergy, though I'm not really keen on that. So the other one that everybody laughs at me, I have a hard time saying, it's jojoba.
Jojoba.
Jojoba. I just want to say jojoba.
Sorry, I'm laughing at you.
I know. That's why I said it.
Jojoba.
Okay.
Jojoba.
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 That's a good one. Some people say...
I'm going to make the title of this episode Jojoba.
Yeah. Sounds like hoba.
I know.
Sorry, we digress.
Jojoba oil.
Some people use olive oil. I think olive oil isn't really the one you want to use for doing massage on people. So look for that unscented. Which
Why
one?
not? Why not olive oil?
I think it's has its own odor to it. And
coconut oil. Everybody loves coconut oil, but that definitely has a smell.
Definitely. And I happen to love the smell of coconut. I love coconut, but the truth is the smell can become, even for me who likes it, too intense. And I know people who don't like the smell of coconut. So really what we know, this is where I think you err on the side of caution. Our sense of smell is extremely heightened during labor. When you're pregnant, period, and then when you're in labor, it's very, it's the, of all our 5 senses, it's the one that acts like that. It's the quickest because it goes right to the brain, the message, and it has the longest memory. So anything somebody smells that they associate, they can have a memory attached to it. So a carrier oil, unscented, ideal. I think that is just a given in your birth bag. If you have nothing else, you should have that because you will definitely be massaging people during labor, and it's really nice when it's not just potential friction.
People also use powder for that, like a talc powder.
I don't think powder is a good idea. Personally, I think it's messy. It gets in the air. Some people have allergic reactions to dust, and then you're creating that. I think hospitals have, they used to make these, the gloves that had talc inside of them, and they took them away because of allergies. So I think it sounds lovely to just pat something on people, but I think you're running if you had to make a choice, I would just
do oil. Lotion, same thing. Lotion, I think I shared this one time. There was lotion right next to me, so I used it. And I thought, man, this is great. I felt so like it was such a great massaging that I was doing with this lotion. And then it got sticky. Mm-hmm. And I realized the more you put on, mm-hmm. and then I realized, again, with oil, it just seemed to work much mm-hmm. better.
Yeah, oil's good.
So oil is a definite.
One of my other definites mm-hmm. is gum and mints.
Okay.
Because just like you said, for the smell, laboring people are very sensitive to breath and mm-hmm. stuff like that. And a lot of times I hand out mints to, the partner, whoever else, to myself. And it's sort of almost like a signal, like we're focused on her, we're focused on what she is experiencing. And it's not offensive, but we're just going to make sure our breath doesn't stink, because that can, when you're in somebody's face breathing with them, it really matters if you have coffee breath Absolutely. Or onion breath or whatever.
Absolutely.
Okay, so gum and mints and oil.
And sometimes what happens also is that gum and mints can also be even for the woman.
Yeah.
It's not very likely, but it can be a good tool for her. Sometimes she just has something if she's chewing.
Yeah.
It gives her something to concentrate on. And I actually think it's a fairly underutilized tool. Just to offer somebody, and they may just spit it right out, but then you guys can laugh about that.
Well, that too. So on that note, sour candies can help for the...
Do you think so?
Yeah, I do. I've seen it work for nausea.
For nausea.
For nausea.
Okay.
That if they're just starting to get that kind of sour taste in their mouth, mm-hmm. And they're starting to feel... I mean, some women are going to throw up in transition no matter what. Some women just get kind of nauseous. And... Yes, I think it gives a little sugar boost, a little energy. I used to carry honey sticks. I don't anymore, just because I find that I use them all up and they're gone, or I don't use them for weeks and they get kind of crusty, and they're just harder for me to manage than sour candy. So I have a little bag of some
like
various hard candies.
Like Jolly Ranchers or something?
I go a little more sour. I forget, they're called the icebreaker sour.
Okay, I don't know that.
I forget exactly, but Jolly Ranchers would be good.
My experience with sour candy, because it was on everybody's childbirth education list, was I would say, "Oh, would you like one of these?" And they would put it in their mouth and they go, yeah. and they'd spit it out. So I found that I would request what flavor I liked of sour candies for them often.
Yeah.
But absolutely good idea. If nothing else, again, this is self-care. You will have it for yourself. If it's something, you're hungry, or your breath, or you're thirsty, or whatever the case might be.
I find that a lot of the stuff that is on all those lists, I feel like the kind of moms who are hiring doulas. Now, again, this is maybe not if you're a volunteer doula, but in general, they're so prepared. Like, you don't need to bring all that stuff for them. They're going to they have the list from Childbirth Ed or from the hospital.
I agree,
or whatever.
But
maybe not everybody.
No, and that's the thing, you think. So we're going to talk about the bag and what we think can go in there. And then we conclude with what you started with, which is you really don't need much of anything, because you probably won't use a lot. But it's like the Girl Scout motto of being prepared. So another one is... hair ties and clips or something like that.
For you and the laboring person.
And you think that they have them, and they probably do. Here's the other reason we want to bring these things. You know where they are in your bag. Mm-hmm. And it's quicker sometimes. Like, I've had the experience where they'll say, "Oh, well, can you get my hair tie thing?" And they're giving you directions as to where they are, which is really, you're fumbling around trying to find something that they know where it is. And guess what? They're in labor and they're not giving the best directions. And if you just have one yourself, you can quickly pull it up and out of their way. So those hair ties or clips, those comb things.
The hair headbands too, like cloth headbands to hold, if they have bangs, to hold their hair out of their face.
So that's good.
and
what do you
chapstick.
Have? Absolutely.
For them and for me, but more for them.
Mm-hmm. And then how do you handle that? Because
I buy like a 5-pack of the cheapest chapstick. And then if I use it with them, they just keep it. Okay. I don't use it on.
Because the other suggestion is, and that's a good one, is you buy one of those little tub ones. Where if it was your personal one, you would put your finger in and rub it on your lips. Get one of those and a baggie full of Q-tips, and scoop out some, and they can either put it on their finger or they can rub that Q-tip on their lip. And that way you always have it, and it isn't, what is the word called when contaminated by somebody else.
And the reason for that is just if you're doing a lot of mouth breathing when you're laboring, your lips are going to get really dry, and sometimes hospital rooms are really dry.
Right. So that's a good one to have. And they, again, more than likely have something like that, but sometimes you want to know that you have it so you can put your hands on it quicker.
I'm trying to think, I don't know if we can sort of do categories, if it'll work like that, because I'm thinking of, is there anything else in that category of comfort?
Bendable straws.
Bendable straws, yep. That's
good idea to have bendable straws, because they will suddenly want, they're drinking and they're in weird positions, and that straw doesn't work for them, or that cup doesn't work for them. So bendable straws is a good idea.
And I realize we're kind of, the default assumption is for hospital, because 98 to 99% of births occur in hospitals. But really, this stuff is all good for a home birth too, or a birth center birth.
Right.
I think I was thinking about other comfort things like ice packs, and most hospitals are going to have something like that. A heating pad you generally can't use without a prescription in a hospital.
Really?
If it's a heating pad,
because it's plugged in.
But the nurses will make a little pack out of a Chuck's,
right?
And then they microwave it. But a rice sock you can use.
Sock you can make and bring.
So rice sock is you just get a sock, fill it with rice, tie the end up.
Yeah, big athletic sock.
Yeah. And then if you microwave it for a very short time, it gets hot. It holds its heat, and you can put it on the lower back.
Be aware, though, please, before you put any kind of warmth on them, how hot it is. And never put it on somebody who isn't feeling like they have an epidural, and don't put it on their legs, which I don't know why you would, but don't put it in an area of their body that they're not feeling the sensation.
Yep.
Be very aware that you're not burning them. Those are good. And the cold packs, you could carry one of those breakable cold packs yourself, but I don't think this is necessary to have, but it goes along with comfort, and you could have a couple if you want, but it's just the hospital has them. And, so would another birth environment, but is a couple of washcloths with you, just for those cold washcloths on her forehead that you're draining off, and then you just take them home and wash them again.
Yep.
They're just, again, it's for easy access instead of saying, can we have some washcloths? Then you have them available.
I like to bring, I mentioned this in a previous tip, I like to bring Christmas lights for giving the room a little bit of light, a little bit of ambiance. We're kind of moved to another category here, but to give the room a little bit of light or ambiance when it's dark. So, and it makes a really nice sort of magical. If you can have a woman laboring for 15 minutes with her partner in a dark room with Christmas lights, and then it doesn't, even if everything goes to hell after that, if she has
takes
that
the
like
institutionalizing of it away too.
Yeah.
And I gave that tip at the same time that a flashlight isn't as sweet and pretty, but can create that low lighting circumstance as well.
I always think the Christmas lights are like your Pinterest birth. If you can give birth on Pinterest, you can buy at AC Moore or Ben Franklin or any of those. You can buy packs of little battery operated candles. You're not going to be able to have an open flame in the hospital. You can at home, but you should be really careful about that. We talked about that, I think, before.
If you want, you can, and this came up in one of the tips also, the peanut ball that some people bring in it won't fit in your birth bag, but it's we're talking about including what to bring to the hospital, to the birth.
A lot of people bring birth balls.
I know, and I was going to say birth ball.
The hospital in our areas, all the hospitals have them. And when you bring your own, you need to be careful to sanitize it properly. Some people use birth ball covers. I see those for sale. That does not keep bodily fluids from getting on the birth ball. So even if you have a cover and you take it off and wash it, you still need to sanitize.
Yes. Make sure you do a really good job from birth to birth, because if nothing else, they've been rolling along a hospital floor.
Yeah, if nothing else, but definitely probably something else is spilled
but
on
sometimes people don't even get on them.
Yeah.
Or you don't use it because you use the hospital one. But
I bring a change of socks.
I think that's an excellent idea.
And actually, I have, after a birth, maybe a year ago, where I got completely drenched in the shower. I've supported a lot of people in shower and baths, and I've never gotten wet before. And there's one hospital that did a renovation, and now to help a woman in the shower, you have to basically get in the shower with her.
No way.
Yeah, I mean,
I will not get in a shower with somebody.
Basically,
how could you do that? You have to put on a bathing suit?
No, it's just, I don't know. It's hard to manage. I've seen the midwives get wet there.
But the partners can get in, right?
Yeah, I mean, the partners get in and they get wet. It's really suboptimal. And I got drenched, and I ended up, they offered me some scrubs, which I didn't take. But since then, I've brought like an extra, I have a pair of yoga pants and a t-shirt, but I've never needed it again, of course, since I have it now. Extra, but always socks.
Yeah, socks is a good idea, because your feet inevitably seem to get wet, just even if you are standing outside the shower.
And you can have water break on you.
Yes, or vomit.
Yeah.
Or bloody stuff.
Yeah.
So going to personal supplies, I kind of just have a list also that you may want to consider which is toothbrush and toothpaste for yourself. And
they make these little things called wisps, which are little disposable toothbrush, one use that you can use. They're very small. You don't need water or anything with them, that you can buy at a drugstore.
Okay. Hand sanitizer, though that's usually right there in the room as well. It works just to quickly, sanitize your hands, but also I've shared that it works great for a deodorant for yourself as well. If you just put some under your armpits, if you're getting hot and sweaty, it kills bacteria. And it's always available, so you could carry it with you. But like I said, every hospital is obviously going to have hand sanitizer. A hairbrush for yourself, just to, births can take a long time. And you want to keep yourself also feeling like you look like you haven't been running around forever and ever with no sleep.
Yeah, if you wear makeup, a little makeup kit to freshen up.
Tampons. Or pads or whatever you use. You mentioned the breath mints and gum. Money for machine
vending and for parking.
Just you don't want to be without. A lot of people now are also carrying an extra phone charger or their phone charger with them.
Yep.
Because births can take a long time and their phones go dead.
I also usually will bring my iPad, or I don't bring a laptop, but I'll bring my iPad, or I'll bring knitting or something like that. I don't do it unless they're sleeping, as I don't want to look bored. But if there's an epidural, or if they go to sleep or something, and I'm hanging out there, something to do, a book.
Watch is a good idea. I know everybody is dependent on their cell phones now for their telling time, but if you're laboring with somebody and you have your watch right there in your face, it really helps you keep an eye on how these, for the time sake, being able to tell the time and keep an eye on the time in a better way.
Wait, there was something else I was going to say about snacks for yourself.
Yeah.
Snacks,
Power
and water.
bar, trail mix.
And for the partner. And I also buy the little Via coffee, the little instant coffee. I don't drink a lot of caffeine at births because it doesn't work well for me as an energy mechanism, caffeine, but a lot of people do like it. And again, most hospitals are going to have a pot of coffee, but I just take the little Via instant. I take some coffee and tea for the partner. For myself, I do better if I stay really hydrated with water and protein.
So having a water bottle with you for yourself is really important. Most hospitals will have a nourishment center that you can access, so you can get A lot of them
Sometimes
have filtered water now.
Yeah. On the floor. I thought you were talking about like a cafeteria. 'Cause some of those, the hours are really funky.
No, I meant right there
not available.
where you can get coffee, tea, juice, sodas. They're supposed to really be for the patient, the sodas and the juices, but you could partake in them. They usually have some kind of crackers also, but you really want to have some of this stuff for yourself. Nuts. I mean, I'm sitting here podcasting with a huge bag of almonds. So I have almonds with me in a bag all the time. I keep tea. I let go of my beloved, that's known as coffee to other people, but I no longer drink coffee.
You're precious.
And yes, and that was my go-to drink plus water at every birth. So now I do bring herbal teas with me that I like so that I have something warm to drink and gives me comfort as well, and might be a nice one for the mama too. I do think bringing your own water bottle is a really, it should be a tool you should absolutely have because you do need to be hydrated. You could consider, do you want to have some kind of labor music most people bring their own music.
Most people bring their own, but I have loaded on my phone what I call yoga music. It's like meditation type of music, which is not what everybody wants. It's not right for everybody, but if they forget, I was in a C-section once where they let us play music in the C-section and they wanted that. I've played it a couple times actually.
I dreamt last night I had a C-section.
Really? Wonder what that means.
I was having a discussion yesterday about C-sections, so I think that's what it means.
Yeah.
But sorry,
anyway,
a little aside there.
So yeah, I think music is nice. What else? We've covered lots of stuff. Okay, so
hot water bottle, possibly for that warmth instead of the rice sock, or since you can't have a heating pad. Here's one that most people would never think to do. And I have for years. I picked up one in Hawaii that I specifically just loved, but you can get them at the dollar store, I'm sure still. Handheld fan.
Oh,
just one of those little open fans. You know how hot that woman sometimes get, and you're trying to grab a piece of paper or something, but if you grab your handheld fan and just hand it, you do it.
Like a swooning Southern belle.
Yeah.
I do declare.
Yeah. Or the partner can do this.
Yeah.
And it really, and those are, I went through quite a lot of them. My Hawaii one disappeared very quickly. This is an old day kind of thinking. I don't even think they make them. Some kind of camera. I was going to say disposable camera, but now everybody has their cell phones. My hesitation with but the disposable camera, the reason we used to recommend that, and maybe it's still a possibility, is
you can give it to them.
Yeah, because I don't want to have their birth pictures on my cell phone. I think that's
have
an
been
invasion.
in that position and I don't like it.
Yeah,
they've asked me to do it.
So the other thing that I have done is bring an extra memory card for a digital camera that I then give them the memory card. Like if it's my camera, because some of us will carry our cameras with us as well and take pictures for them. You give them the memory card.
Along those lines, I have a little notebook, like a little tiny notebook where I can write down either times or events or little notes that as they come up. Sometimes I offer it as a formal service to do a recap of the birth, but that's kind of a different. I used to do that more when I was newer. I feel like now I'm willing to do that if they ask, but I don't want to infringe on their birth story with my birth story, because I have learned after doing this long enough now how different my birth story is every time. And what I see as strength, they remember as a time of weakness or vice versa, So,
or you remember things that they would never have remembered, period. And that may not be the best thing sometimes.
But I do think sometimes people like to know, at 2:00 I was 5 centimeters and at 8:00 I was still 5 centimeters, or at 2:00 I was 5 centimeters and at 2:30 I was 9 centimeters, that kind of stuff. Sometimes I take notes on.
Yeah, I think notebook is good. And excuse me. Another one I know you carry
something like this in your bag, but you may want to carry something like a tips of the trade, ideas and suggestions.
Oh, yeah.
So I know you have carried in your birth bag the birth partner.
I do. And I've actually never used it, but I always feel like I would get to this point where I just couldn't think of one more position to try. And I could just pull that out and remember some positions, but I never use it. But yeah, I do. I still have it in my birth bag.
I think it's a good idea. Kind of ideas and suggestions, because sometimes you are just like, well, yeah, maybe there's something else.
Yeah. And you could, yeah. I also carry a lot of, you'll hear the word rebozo,
I was just going to bring that up, right?
It's just basically a long piece of cloth. And
I always had, and in our workshops, we've used for years sarongs.
Sarongs. I was going to say, you can use a hospital sheet or a huge bath towel. A regular size bath towel is generally not big enough, but I have actually I have a ring sling that I used with my first baby. It's a Maya wrap. And if you undo it, it just is a long piece of fabric with a ring at one side. And it's perfect for belly sifting. And you can tie a knot in it, throw it over the door, and the woman can hang off of it and squat. I mean, it's perfect. And it washes really easily, and it's compact.
Yeah, so definitely, and so many of you nowadays are very aware of the word rebozo and how to use the different methods. So that's another conversation. But carrying something like that, or a sarong, or going to the, like Sarah said, a baby carrier wrap, or going to the material store and getting a really long piece of muslin cloth, nothing stretchy, because you don't muslin. Thank you. I thought I said that, but it came out.
It sounded like muslin.
Yeah, sorry.
Muslin cloth would work too. Any kind of cloth.
It must have been the almond I was chewing.
Yeah.
Anything that would be used as a tool in that way. Here's another one that I just want to kind of give a side to it. A perineum oil, such as I know some people who, and I just saw some doulas advertising this, that they bought a whole case of really small bottles of olive oil. I don't know if they're 2 or 4 ounces of olive oil, and they wanted to split it up with other doulas, and they carry it in their birth bag, not because they're going to apply the perineal oil, but if this is something that the client has wanted and the care provider says, sure, I'm willing to do that, but I don't have anything, the doula can say, well, I have some olive oil here.
I have never seen this done. I've heard a lot of doulas say they use baby shampoo to do perineal massage, which just, why would you do that? I've seen a lot of people use
KY jelly.
jelly.
That would be the go-to.
But baby shampoo?
I know, it is something.
I've never seen it done.
I've heard it. People see it all the time in certain hospitals. And for all the doulas who watch it,
it's not moisturizing at all.
I think I don't understand, because you think of we're not supposed to put soap in our vagina.
Yeah.
And so here you're putting soap, but it's supposed to be because it's baby gentle, that it's okay. But I don't see, I know, the soap, when it comes out, is really thick and oily looking so I think that's the thought behind it. But this is another reason to have maybe they don't want.
They're supposed to be. I mean, a lot of times they're putting their fingers all inside your vagina and around the baby's head. It's not just on the perineum.
Right.
I mean, you won't hear me condemn many things on this podcast, but I can't get behind shampoo.
No, me either. I'm sorry, but I want to hear from somebody who has the reason why that is justifiable, I guess, until I haven't heard.
Be happy with KY way before that. Yeah,
absolutely.
But yeah, so tell us how you feel about, and then I want to sort of tell me how you feel about, can a doula do perineal massage if asked?
You mean during the labor?
During the labor.
No.
Okay.
But yes, but no. No. Okay, so let me clarify that. No. She will not be, I can't even imagine it being allowed even by a really open-minded doctor or midwife, because
it is, in their perspective, you're right there, your fingers, and of course you would have gloves on, but you are right there on the where the baby is emerging. I mean, they see it as their field. Now, the thing I can see them being given permission to do, and I've stressed this at other times, it's you must be given permission by the hospital staff, whomever that is at that moment, to do perennial support, like with a warm compress, a warm washcloth. But actually applying the oil, I really think in their eyes would be way overstepping the scope of practice. And from my eyes, it's overstepping the practice, if that scope of practice, that if you're not the primary care provider. And at that moment, I mean, you're sticking your fingers in her vagina, and you're a potential bacteria risk and infection risk. So if that's been allowed, that's a anomaly. It's something that's not common. Just going back to the olive oil bottle, handing them a bottle of olive oil with the seal broken may not be acceptable to the care provider. That's why people were looking for small bottles, that they could then just discard when the birth was over.
I wonder if you could find those in a wedding favor, because I've heard of people giving away little bottles of olive oil as a wedding favor, like 2 ounces. I wonder if you could find it that way. It's a neat idea.
Did find that. I'm trying to think if there's not a lot of other things that are coming to the top of my head right now.
One other thing I used to have.
I thought of something.
Which I never used. Is I had a little bag of, I remember with my first baby, I did Lamaze childbirth ed, and they talked a lot about having like a point of focus, like something to hold, a stone, a shell, something that you could look at. And so I have a big Ziploc bag of stones and shells and things like that. And I never use any of them, because anything that's that's very independent, individually meaningful to people. If there's in my little stone, I don't know. In general, I find with that kind of thing that, like, if you're in early enough labor, you don't need it yet. And if you're in late enough labor, it's not going to work. If you're in transition, it's not going to work to rub a stone. It's not going to make it.
It's going to be thrown at you.
Yeah, you're going to get stone thrown at your head. It's not going to work to focus on. I remember all these techniques we learned. I don't know. It just seems like a lot of that stuff kind of goes out the window at a certain point.
Her own stone,
right?
And if nothing else, she sees her stone. But I hear what you're saying.
But I do have a bag of that kind of stuff. I have a little bear figurine for like Mama Bear, and there's like little things. But I don't know. It's just never really. I've pulled it out at different times, and it never felt like, oh, thank goodness I had this. Which I think
you could wear a bear. A bear. I've seen one of my kids growing up had a hat.
A bear hat. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just see you being that at birth and. Sorry, a bear hat.
Yeah, that would be pretty funny.
Here's another one, which I can't believe we haven't brought up also. Not everybody is adept at this, but most people have some awareness. The aromatherapy oils, the essential oils is a consideration if you've delved into that and have an understanding of what scents might be good for certain parts of the labor. You would want to bring that. Another thing is bring a small, and you can buy these in dollar stores and wherever, little spray bottle, empty spray bottle. And it's really good to use as a mister, like to spray somebody just quickly to cool them down. Or Sarah's laughing.
I'm just imagining
she's picturing
doing it on the doctor.
Right? Cool down, doc.
Cool down, doc. Step away with those scissors.
Right. Or put some water in it and a few drops of the essential oil you want to use, and spray it in the air so that it's not overpowering. So the spray bottle can be really a helpful one as well. Bringing some cotton balls so that you can drop a few of those essential oils on that on the cotton ball for the whiffing,
and then flush it when for the whiffing.
For the whiffing,
I feel like we're really punchy today.
Oh, that's funny. It's probably all these almonds I'm playing with and have eaten by this point. What else? anything? Oh, I know.
ToRAISE's diet is so clean that almonds make her high.
Here's the one that came to my mind when you were talking about stones. This is a trick that a lot of people don't know about, and I've known about it for so long, is getting those combs, little, those black combs, small black combs.
Yeah, like,
they're probably about 3 inches
they're
long.
like 39 cents at the drugstore.
Right. Get 2 of those, and you carry them in your birth bag. And what you do is when the woman is in transition, instead of handing her a stone, you give her the combs, and she takes the comb and she takes the teeth part and she holds it in her hand and she clenches she clenches the combs, and it gives her something to hold on to instead of a hand squeezing. Okay. And then what it actually is doing at the same time is those teeth are hitting acupressure pain reliever points on the backside of her, on her palm, her upper palm. And that can be, some people just love it. They just will hold on to the combs.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah. See?
There you go.
So that's easy to carry. And Sarah said at the beginning of the podcast that her tip was having Ziploc bags or school supply. What do you call those?
Pencil cases.
Pencil cases. You want to be organized with what you have. The other thought is something for yourself to read. And I know that's why you brought up the iPad, or something to read. And I think it's good not to overload on clothing, but I do like your idea of socks and the possibility of a change of clothes. I know that seems like a lot to carry, but you can get hot and stinky. You can get wet. You can be barfed on. You can be peed on. You can be amniotic fluid. You can have a lot of blood on you. Or if nothing else, if what we try and do for the woman who has gone through the night of labor and she's rested for a while in between contractions, and now it's time to get up and moving. The sun is starting to come up. You may want to help her brush her teeth, comb her hair, get her kind of freshened up. You may need to do that too, like change your clothes. Like, oh, I'm just coming on the job now, instead of it being you're still sitting in the same clothes that you've been in now for 36 hours because you put them on yesterday morning. Yeah. And now it's that next afternoon. Yeah. So it can help you just feel better. Yeah. Even if your clothes are doing fine. Yeah. So, I'm sure there are many other things we are forgetting, but that's why we're having you listen, so you can chime in.
Yeah. So let us know on our Facebook page. What do you love? If you could only have 5 things in your doula bag, what would be the most 5 important for you?
So what would your 5 be?
Mine would be... Oh, I forgot to say a tennis ball and a sock for a massage. I do like that.
And massage tools.
Yeah, massage tools. My 5 would be oil, gum. I think I could do every birth I've ever done with oil and gum.
Because to me, one of the most important things we haven't talked about putting in the bag is your hands.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean,
that's what I mean too.
I've gone full circle where, I spent so much time doing my bag when I was a new doula, and now I feel like I could forget it and make a difference.
I think a lot of people would say oil, rebozo. Yeah. Essential oils.
Essential oils, because a rebozo, you can find something else to make.
But I think this is what people would feel, because I think this is a very big focus of doula work nowadays. The oil, the aromatherapy, the rebozo, what else would I think? Food for themselves, and some kind of hot warming sock.
Warm sock,
like a rice sock.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. So tell us if that's your top 5, and then let's wrap up and say that actually the most important tool is your hands and
your heart, your eyes, and your ears.
And that if you don't have oil, you can still rub somebody, and if you don't have a rebozo, you can still use a sheet or a towel or anything else.
Or your hands.
Right. And if you don't have anything, I have been at births where I didn't have my bag and it was fine.
Right.
It was fine.
Well, and Sarah, I remember you came to a workshop, and this happens with so many of the experienced doulas who come to the workshop to share. And you said, here's what's in my birth bag. And then at the end you said, but I rarely use anything.
Yeah,
and you had this tiny little pile of the things that you use fairly regularly at every birth.
I would put lights, Christmas lights in my, I use almost every time.
Right.
If it's almost every time, if it's at night.
Yeah. So, and you'll figure out your priorities. That's why we'd like to hear. But this is also for, we hope, I think these are pretty common, but maybe they're not, some of the things we said. So we
I'd
hope
never
it
heard
helped.
combs before, so there you go. I learned something.
I think a lot of people haven't heard combs, but it's one of those things that I learned probably 30 years ago that I forget sometimes about how that can be beneficial.
Cool.
And it saves it. Actually, when it comes up in my mind, when somebody squeezed in the bejesus out of my hand, and I think, ooh, well, you want to try these combs?
They're special and ergonomically designed acupressure combs.
Okay. Well, thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, everybody. Let us know what you pack.
Okay.
Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.